Let's go to the hotline and welcome back to the show. This is John Melendez, known affectionately as Stuttering John. John, how are you, buddy?
Hey, how are you, Mike?
Good to talk to you. John, what were you in town doing? You were doing an autograph signing over here?
Yeah, in Tampa at the Tampa Fairgrounds.
Yeah. How was that?
It was okay. I mean, but it was more like it was more like all these sports baseball card people, So I was, I was like a nobody there, but hell,
Yeah,
hell,
that's a weird kind of thing. Although I would imagine do they do like Howard Stern conventions? I would imagine between all the past employees and whack packers and things like that, that would be something interesting to go to.
yeah, I'm doing Eternal Con and in July at Hofstra, and that's more of just like entertainers as opposed to sports guys, but. Enough about this. Now let's get back to this Carmen. Oh my God! Now I know why you called the bone. She's got a hell of a voice.
Yeah, don't let it fool you though. She's mediocre at best. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I mean, if she looks halfway as good as she sounds, I was like, oh my God, who is this Chad guy?
Yeah, she's adorable, and Chad is just he's enough to make you feel bad about yourself. He's got abs and he's in great shape, and he's a football coach, so. There's no
he
winning.
must have some kind of magic wand because she's like, nobody can have my Chad. God, I wish a girl would say that about me.
Completely whipped over him. I've been married for 23 years. I don't think my wife cares a fraction about me as Carmen does about Chad.
I know. She's totally in love with this guy. I'm not sharing it with anybody.
Yeah.
I love him.
Must be nice. Speaking of Chads, let me ask you about this. What is this eternal fight between you and Chad Zumock?
Who is that?
Oh, come on. I listen to me.
There's no fight on my end. I mean,
But I saw a thing the other day. I don't know. So I don't know. Listen, I know that there's a group of nerds, and Chad Zumock is one of them, that go on the internet and make fun of other people's podcasts and all that. They did that to me. I don't care. I blow that stuff off. But I did see a video the other day of you saying that you would fight Chad Zumock, and that I would like to see.
Oh, I would. Oh, believe me, if I ever ran into him, it would be his worst nightmare.
I can arrange that.
I mean, the guy came to my house and put an anti-trans thing on my door when he knew I was in St. Petersburg doing stand-up, and I have a transgender child, and he thought that would be. That would be funny, but no, I don't take it that way. So yeah,
no, you don't mess with people. You don't mess with people's kids.
Yeah, but he has. I mean, this guy just needs somebody to scream at who's way more famous. I mean, well, he's not famous at all, but like this whole thing they call the Dabbleverse, Mike, is just everybody focused on me. You would think I was George Clooney. You would think I was Chad.
I saw.
I mean, Carmen's Chad. Not that.
Yeah. I am amazed that they have spent about. No offense to you, John, but you're not that interesting to spend that much time talking about. Yeah, I know you would. I knew you would. But I would love if you and Chad want to fight. I would love to arrange that.
Yeah, but why would I want to even give him an ounce of fame?
No, I get that. I understand that.
You know what I mean? If it was ever going to happen, if it was ever going to happen, it would not be, where he could actually make money because the guy is broke.
Yeah.
So, no.
All right. I was just
guy in an apartment.
I was just curious about that because I did see that you said that if you ever caught up with him that you would. So I was like, well, man, I can arrange that. But I get it. You don't want to stoop down to his level.
No, it's like all these guys are challenging. They all want to to fight me because if they fight me, then they'll get oh look, this is the guy who fought Stuttering John. Mike, it is an absurd world. That's why I stopped podcasting because it's just like, I mean, any time, any minute, there's about 2 shows going on, just watching clips from me from 10 years ago and commenting on, on how many nose hairs I have hanging out of my
John, I will tell you this. I can, every once in a while, I could pick up the book Private Parts or watch a YouTube video of you, the stuff that you did with celebrities back in the day was by far the best. I mean, you put yourself in some of the situations that you put it in, but it was hilarious, and nobody was doing that before. No matter what anybody says now, they can't take that away from you.
No, and you know what's weird? Because when I was on the Tonight Show, Carmen, I was the announcer.
Chad wasn't the announcer on the Tonight
Show.
That's
right.
I know I'm no Chad, but no, but yeah, like it's weird because Sacha Baron Cohen was there, and Ollie G was a total takeoff of me,
Sure.
and also. And then Triumph the Insult Dog was just me with a puppet.
Yeah.
It's just, but hey, look, what they say, imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Right.
But,
I mean, I get it. I mean, all I'm saying is that what you did was really, it was some of the funniest and most ballsiest, there weren't people with a lot of nuts like that back in the day doing those sort of things, and it was great.
I asked OJ if he would sign my knife. I mean, come on. Nobody was doing stuff.
Was there anybody you were actually afraid of, or you were like, this is going to be a bad one?
Yeah, John Amos from
Good Times.
Remember the guy from Good Times?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at a softball. It was a celebrity charity softball game, and he had this big bat on him. And I'm asking him weird kind of racial questions, and I'm going, this guy is going to kill me.
Who is the best sport?
Well, he was, because then he goes, because as I was asking him a question, he goes, let me ask you a question. How the F do you get this job with a speech impediment? He was great, but I'll tell you, Mike, Joan Rivers had the best out of anybody, and she was so funny. And I just said, Joan, do you think ugly people should be allowed to have children? And she said no, and I told your mother that.
I'll tell you one that sticks out in my head. I remember you asking John Goodman a question, and he turned and looked at you with the death eye, and then he looks at me and he goes, "Are you stuttering, John?" He was so excited when he saw you.
Yeah, and that's what the great Norm Macdonald, when I started it, everyone would finally, get into it, and they all would. I'm stuttering. Yeah. They would recognize me.
Yeah.
And so Howard would send other people, and he sent somebody to Norm Macdonald. He goes, "How do I want stuttering John." So it was fun, man. But how you doing in Tampa? I mean, I just moved here.
Yeah, what are you doing? Are you down in Cape Coral area?
Yeah, Cape Coral. I just bought a boat, and it's beautiful. Oh, Carmen! I mean, we were on the boat. Yeah.
Can Chad go?
Yeah, sure. I'll throw him overboard.
Where are you getting all your money from? You got Tonight Show money left over, or where are you getting most of your money from?
Yeah, I have 2 pensions from the Writers Guild. I was a staff writer, and also, I was in I am in SAG-AFTRA, and I get 2 pensions. So now I'm just kind of really enjoying life. I mean, my kids are all older. I got, 2 of my youngest are in college, and my youngest is in Harvard, actually. Carmen, you hear that?
Now, let me ask you, John. I asked this about a lot of celebrities because I have teenage kids. Do your kids, did they think you were cool at any point, or you just, or how does that work out? Like, I'm always trying to make myself seem cool to my kids. You seem like you might have had even a tougher job doing that too.
No, I mean, they thought it was cool that they were, going all these great events and everything, and they thought that was pretty cool. But then it all turns, because then they go back and and then watch us at doing butt bongo fiesta, and suddenly I ain't that cool anymore.
I don't know. That made you a little bit cooler to me when I was a kid. So let me ask you this, because you brought this up. You have a transgender child. May I ask, male to female, female to male?
Female to male.
And was that difficult for you, or do you? I don't know. I guess when it's your kid, you automatically have that love for your kid, right? You're just gonna support the kid.
I'm so liberal. It didn't. I don't. I mean, any of that stuff doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, even when she told me, and after the conversation, she said, "Dad, as liberal as you are, I couldn't imagine this going any better." Because really, I mean, I just want people to be happy.
Right.
I don't care what their sexuality is. It means nothing to me. You
No,
know.
I don't. I feel the same way. I feel like we're only here for a certain amount of time, and whatever you need to do to be happy during that time is fine with me, as long as it doesn't affect other people, and that's fine with me.
I mean, let me ask you, Mike. Do you have a boy or girl?
Both. I have a 19-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter.
All right. So if any of them came out to you and said, like, you know, I'm gay or whatever, are you really gonna
No.
have any real like strong, like bad feeling towards it? You know.
No, my feeling, if my child was gay or transgender, would probably be the same exact that your feeling was. Is that my only feeling towards it would be fear that they would be treated differently. That's the only thing that I'd be worried about. I wouldn't care either way.
So let me ask a question, Mike. So if in fact you did have a transgender child and some nobody like a hack comic came to your door and put some anti-trans stuff to your door, wouldn't you want to do what I would do if I was
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I gotta tell you, I don't mess with people's kids. I mean, I've been in a lot of radio situations, and these sort of ridiculous things, and you just don't mess with people's kids at all. And no matter whether they're trans or not trans, there's certain lines you don't cross, and that's crossing a line. So.
But that's the thing, Mike. Like, because we have kids, so we understand.
Yeah.
But those that don't have kids don't understand it. Like, so they're just gonna they don't have the same like unconditional love that we have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And hopefully that's a life lesson that you can learn as you get older and you mature. We're talking Stuttering John Melendez, who is going to be doing comedy tonight at Captain Brian's Off the Hook Comedy Club. What do you just have a one-nighter there?
Yeah, just the one night. It's the first time. I mean, I just moved here in July, and so this is and I appreciate Captain Brian. I mean, he's a captain as well, and I'm the worst captain. Red right return. I can't believe, I'm the worst boat ever. But the other day I was in the boat, and we had dolphins jumping and following us the whole way. It was so cool.
Yeah, it's amazing those are all the things that you have to get used to when you're first down here in Florida. I want to come out on the boat. Where do we go? We go fishing? What do? You just hang out?
Yeah, anytime, Mike. I would love to. Do you ever come to the Cape?
I do. So next time, I don't know how far you are from Captain Brian's, but every once in a while, I'll get a buddy or somebody who's doing stand up down there, and I'll come down there and hang out for the weekend. So for sure, next time I come down there, I would love to hang out.
And you can stay at my house. I mean, I got a great house, and thankfully, my house is built in 2023, so so it's hurricane proof because we're like, I mean, I was on the, we just had that hurricane, and man, that's one thing that stinks. Mike, how do you deal with it out here with the hurricanes? I mean,
it's ridiculous.
It's terrifying.
Let me tell you, I just put a generator in for the first time this year after the last hurricane because I'll never go another day without air conditioning in this house. As a fat guy, it is not good to be in your house alone with no AC. So trust me, that's the first thing. But especially down there, you guys got beat up. So hopefully it skips you for the next couple of years.
Yeah, no, I hope, because else I got to take the boat out of the water, and then I got to, I got to store it. But I would love for you to come out, and I'll take you to Lobster Lady.
Hey, you talk to Jay Leno often or no?
Not probably the last time I saw him when I was in LA. He was at Flappers, and he crushed it, and he was with his wife. And then we were backstage, and then suddenly, like a week later, like we heard that she's in a conservatorship now.
Not
and I had no idea, but I mean, she seemed fine to me. But Jay is one of the best. I'll tell you, Mike. Talk about different people. I mean, Howard was great in a lot of ways, but Jay is definitely the most generous boss you could ever hope for.
Yeah, I remember
just a sweetheart.
You told us about that, and I often think about that. I do. I mean, grew up listening to Howard, listening to you, and certainly watched Jay over the time, and felt weird about Jay because I was such a Howard fan, but then got to have Jay on the show and talk to him a little bit and realize what a nice guy he was. And you learn a lot by talking to somebody. I like Jay a lot, and after his first appearance on the show, I had a whole new respect for him. And it was, he talked about the Howard stuff, he talked about the Letterman stuff. He's not a guy who hides from anything, and I had a whole lot of respect for him. I really enjoyed when we had him on the show.
Oh no, he's a class act, and I probably told you this, Mike, but the best part of Jay was when Jimmy Fallon was, when NBC again was gonna, they were gonna move Jimmy Fallon in. They wanted Jay to leave while they promoted the Olympics, so it was in February, but Jay's contract wasn't up until I believe September, and and they were like, well, Jay, would you step down? Jay said, yeah, okay, I'll leave, but on the one condition, you pay the staff, the 150 people that worked for him, you pay them their full salaries up until September. So, and then I got like a 6-figure check. All in a lump sum, and Jay did that for us.
Wow. That's
that's something that Howard would never, ever do.
No, Howard, they definitely seem different with money and looking out for other people. Let me ask you this, John. And I heard recently that Howard, I don't know if it's because of therapy or because he's getting older or what the situation is. I heard that he has been calling people from his past, like John DeBella and some other radio guys that he was particularly.
I guess he doesn't have my number, Mike.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. You don't think there's ever any time that he'll say, "Hey, listen, I reflect on the situation. I realize that you left for a better job," or none of that. No talking to them at all.
Well, I love Howard. If I saw Howard on the street, I'd give him I would give him a big hug. I love his wife, Beth. I mean, she's great. And if Howard ever asked me or called me, it would be totally. I would love to hear from him. I don't have anything. Look, if you work with someone that long, and I was in his inner circle. I was sleeping at his house in Southampton, and I was. When I was having dinner with him and Ozzy, and it was. He was a great friend. So
what about Gary?
I would love if he called me.
You don't talk to Gary either.
Probably. I would. Gary's a nice guy. I don't really have anything bad to say. Even Fred.
Yeah.
Look, Mike, the Howard Stern show, like the OG, that was putting like 7 people from dysfunctional families in one room and just watching the fireworks.
Right.
Because we were all like freaks.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I get it. And I also know that things change and lives change and people go in different directions. I was just curious because sometimes I feel like as I'm older now, as time goes on, things get, they seem a little less important and you start thinking about it. And especially when I was hearing that Howard was making those phone calls, I was wondering if he ever reached out to you. But it is what it is.
Well, I will tell you that, I'm going to stutter here. Yeah, R's are very hard, Mike. Robin did call me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she called me just like out of nowhere and just said, John, I'm just calling to apologize. I said, for what? She goes, if I ever treated you badly. And I guess she was in some kind of like cult thing, like Landmark or Hallmark, where she had to call everybody and like apologize. Oh, and then, I would love if Howard did the same thing.
Yeah.
Mike, how great would it be if he did, bring me back for a day, bring Artie back for a day, bring Jackie back for a day? It would, the fans would love that.
John, I will tell you, as a longtime fan of that show, from when I was in high school to when I was in grade school, my mother used to listen to NBC. There was no better time than that late 90s when you and Artie were there at the same time. Those were the best years to me, even before satellite. Before that, those were the best years. You find an AJ Benza and the Trump stuff and all that stuff. Those are the greatest years, and I've learned so much about radio from listening to that and knowing what I wanted to do from listening to those years.
Well, you did pretty good on your own there, Mike. But
it's all right. It's worked out.
I'll tell you, Artie is one of the funniest people. Jay and Artie are two of the funniest people just naturally. Like, I would have lunch or dinner with any of them, and they just are always like naturally funny, which is not many people, are like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, I've gotten to hang out with Artie a couple of times, and I've experienced that. So, all right, listen to me. It's good to catch up with you. Go see Stuttering John. He's going to be tonight at Captain Brian's Off the Hook Comedy Club. You can easily find online offthehookcomedy.com, I believe is what it is. But you just Google it, it comes right up.
Yeah, Off the Hook tonight at 7. Carmen, please come. Don't bring Chad. And it should be a good show. And Mike, the next time I'm in Tampa, let's do this live.
Yeah, for sure, dude. It's good to catch up with you and have a great show.
Thanks so much for having me, and take care, Carmen. Say hi to Chad for me.
Adorable. See you, buddy. There you go, John Melendez.